My name is Hugo Gaggioni. I'm the CTO for the Professional Solutions Group, and I would like to say we'll give you some messages regarding the new compression system XAVC. As you probably know, we introduced two new cameras for electronic cinematography based on 4K technology, the F5 and the F55. These cameras are not only multi-format cameras, can do HD, 2K, or Quad FHD, and 4K, but they are also multi-codec. You can select, for example, MPEG-2 up to 50 megabits per second, like the XTCAM format. We can also record SR, the simple studio profile, with data rates of up to 440 megabits for red, green, and blue mastering application. The cameras can also record RAW, using 16-bit linear RAW recording techniques. But one interesting codec that for the first time we introduced in the industry is the so-called XAVC. XAVC is the trademark name that Sony uses to define the top line, the top performance point of operation of the H.264 algorithm, also known as advanced video coding or MPEG-4 Part 10. This algorithm has been defined around 2003, and through the years, different tools and features have been added to the basic algorithm to make it more suitable for high-end professional applications. Therefore, we have so-called profiles of operation and levels of implementation. The more basic the application is, the less complexity of tools or compression techniques I need to use. But the more demanding the application is, I have to use the top levels of performance of the algorithm. Then, for the first time, Sony introduces a custom ASIC that implements the top performance level of operation, level 5.2. This algorithm, in its entirety, is capable of going to work to 4K signals, 4096 by 2160, at levels of 60 frames progressive, at data rates reaching 960 megabits per second. We don't go all the way to 960 megabits per second in our cameras. We actually cap the data rate to 600 megabits. In other words, if you're shooting 4K 60p in one of these cameras, the data rate will be 600 megabits per second, 4 to 2 at 10 bits. Eventually, the algorithm will be able to move to a 444 at 12 bit, but for the time being, we're maintaining at 4 to 2, 10 bits. It can also be used for high-definition signals to data rates of up to 300 megabits, as well as for proxy video with very low data rates to around 384 kilobits. This algorithm is a very complex system that can be used as inter-frame compression, also known as long GOP, long group of picture, or in a simpler manner like XAVC intra-frame compression. Then in these cameras, the algorithm is implemented using intra-picture compression to facilitate color grading and post-production and editorial functions later during the production of the capture piece. The algorithm, as established by MPEG, the organization that establishes the compression system, they only define the decompression tools, the decompression syntax. It's mandatory to comply to the standard. This is an open format. We have to comply to the standard defined by MPEG-4. However, the encoding process, the compression process, is left to the imagination of the manufacturer. As long as we make a compliant bit streams, that's fine. Well, Sony has enormous experience in compression technology, and we have been able to design a system that implements a two-pass encoding operation in real time. In other words, during the first pass, the algorithm selects or studies or classifies the different blocks and macro blocks and slices in the picture and decides what tools and what bit rate is most suitable to the different classes of objects in the picture, in the intra-picture. There will be flat areas, there will be complex areas, and the bit assignment or the bit rate distribution within the frame is done in a very intelligent manner. in order to produce excellent picture on a frame-by-frame basis. Once that decision is made, then the algorithm executes the compression. The chip is so fast that we can implement both operations at frame rates reaching 180 frames per second. Then it's totally transparent to the end user, but we are actually doing a 2-pass encoding at much faster than real time. This is a very unique feature of the XAVC Sony implementation. Also, although it's a little bit more technical, but the algorithm makes decisions what tools to use, not on a clip or recording piece basis, but actually on a frame-by-frame basis. And during the file encapsulation, we use MXF, the material exchange file format. During the encapsulation, there is two metadata parameters, the sequence parameter set and the picture parameter set, that describe what tools were used during that particular frame. Maybe that in one frame there are certain classes of objects in front of the camera. Maybe next frame or in the next few seconds there is a change of illumination. And the algorithm has to adapt itself in its compression capability. That decision of changes of parameters are captured in those two parameters and encapsulated on a frame-by-frame basis. In other words, if I'm doing multi-generation work, I can use that previous information to help the subsequent generation of compression, maintaining very high picture quality even across multi-generation work. And here, right behind me, we have examples of a number of manufacturers that have embraced the use of XAVC. We have currently 31 members of very reputable manufacturers in editorial, color grading, dailies, companies that have examined the quality of this algorithm and have decided to use it for decompression as well as for encoding applications. We hope this algorithm takes quick adoption. We have a large number of other manufacturers now going through the process of licensing, and this is a significant tool in the creation of pictures, because the picture quality is outstanding and can easily rival the picture quality of the process raw if we were to capture and process raw signals directly from the sensor. However, XAVC is much more efficient in terms of storage capacity. For more information on this compression technology and the systems and manufacturers using XAVC, please go to sony.com/professional. Thank you very much.